Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Coyne, founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring, where we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. Today, our Director of Nutrition Education, Ashley Osterman, and I dive into virtual coaching and what it actually looks like to implement into your business. Most gym owners are realizing that virtual coaching is a great way to keep your clients engaged and add new clients to your program. The main topics that we discuss in this episode are 3 steps to setting up virtual coaching, pricing and packages, what your client journey looks like and the free intro process virtually, and then of course, ideas to keep your clients engaged virtually. To supplement this episode, we released a virtual coaching checklist that can be found at growyournutritionbusiness.com on the Get Free Help page. Enjoy. Ashley Osterman, welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Well, thank you, Nicole. Happy to be back.
Today, we are talking all about virtual coaching and really step-by-step process to how you get started, because I think so many gyms right now are realizing nutrition coaching is the way to retain their members and also a way to add new clients during this crazy time while most of us are still closed due to coronavirus.
Yeah, and those that are looking at reopening, we really don't know what that even looks like yet,
Absolutely. So today I really want to walk through kind of 3 steps to start virtual coaching. We did a webinar wrapping up April, talking about 5 best practices, and that webinar is on the Grow Your Nutrition Business site under Get Free Help. But I kind of want to wrap it all up today and talk about the 3 steps that people need to take into account when building a virtual nutrition coaching business. And the first thing is the business stuff. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. The business stuff you really have to have as your foundation before you even try to move forward with virtual nutrition coaching.
The struggle we see with too many nutrition coaches is that they try to help. I mean, we all want to help people, but if you don't have systems in place, you're going to feel super overwhelmed with a really small amount of clients. So by having business stuff in place, it makes it easier to manage more clients in less time, and you're able to scale and be able to have multiple coaches implementing a nutrition program and it be a consistent experience for everybody.
Absolutely. It's so important to have those systems in place to be able to scale your business and to continue to grow.
Absolutely. So let's talk about a couple of things. I think, Zoom, we love Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is the way that we are doing virtual meetings. It's the way we're doing virtual classes. We have a whole crash course on Zoom on the Get Free Help page as well. But Zoom is a way to have those initial meetings, follow-up meetings, virtual meetings with clients, and not having them come in person, and they just have to click a link to join.
Yeah. It's really been invaluable right now, and I think even continuing in the future.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to talk about is a booking software. So I actually just got off the phone with a gym owner this morning who's been in business for 10 years and still has people reach out to him via email. They go back and forth to be able to book an appointment. And the problem is that takes so much time.
Yeah.
So if you have a booking software, we use Acuity and love it. I don't get paid by Acuity to talk about them. We truly just love Acuity. It makes it easy for you to embed a link for someone to book a consult with you, book a free intro, book a follow-up visit, and for you to always have a follow-up visit on the books. We're launching a nutrition challenge.
Yeah.
And we just sent everyone the link to book their initial appointment.
Yeah, another thing I really love about Acuity too is it has automated messages to remind everyone about the appointment. I don't know about you, but we get so busy sometimes. It's just so nice to get that email and that text message to remind me that, oh, hey, yeah, I have an appointment tomorrow. Make sure I am on that call.
Absolutely. And you can brand it and customize those email templates as well. So Acuity is definitely something that you need to have in place so that you make it easy for you to book appointments back to back. I think another thing that goes into having a booking software is a lot of times you're going to be overly flexible when booking appointments if you're going back and forth with people because you just want to get them booked versus having availability and having clients booked back to back. So Acuity is definitely a way you want to go in. Email templates is the other big thing.
Oh, yeah. Recently, one of our mentors, Melinda, did this awesome video about utilizing the email templates in Google, doing your Gmail. And it's just been a game changer for everyone. It's so nice to have those templates already in place. So you're not copying and pasting or retyping out the same email every time. They really just help save time. And again, continue to have that consistent message, that consistency throughout your systems.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what are some email templates that gym owners might want to have.
Well, definitely booking a call.
Yeah. So I'm interested in your service. What is the email response you send back to me?
Yeah, so I would give you a link to check out my services, my offerings, and then a link for you to book a call to see my availability and find a time that's right for you and go ahead and book that call with me.
Absolutely. Another email template would be, 24 hours prior to the appointment, what are you sending to them? The follow-up email
Hmm.
after an appointment, what are you sending to them? Check-in emails. We do all of our check-ins through the HSN app, but for
Right.
gyms, having email templates for check-ins is super helpful so you don't have to create everything from scratch.
Saves you so much time.
Absolutely. So Gmail templates is huge. For gyms that are just starting, kind of building their own nutrition program, I would say using Google Sheets and Google Docs so that there's easy communication and it can always be updated with the most recent version.
Hmm.
Would be super helpful for gyms that are using our program. They're using the HSN app where you can create custom habits and track your clients' progress that way.
Yeah, you can just really use the HSN app for everything when it comes to inputting the notes from your client, adding a meal plan, adding a customized program, nutrition based habit, whatever it might be. Everything is just right there, which is so, so convenient and helpful, streamlined.
Absolutely. And if you're not using HSN, creating email templates so that you can schedule them out. Like, what is a client getting after week 1, after week 2, after week 3? All of that is built in the app. But if you're creating yourself, your program from scratch, having all of that stuff ready to go would be really helpful. So you've got this stuff in place. I think figuring out your pricing and packages is another important piece of the puzzle before you start advertising that you have nutrition programs, which is why that's the first step of the training process. I think so many gym owners and coaches don't feel comfortable charging what they're worth and they're just
Hmm.
not sure what to charge.
Yeah, they don't know the value.
Absolutely. A big question that we've gotten was, should you charge less for virtual coaching than in-person coaching?
Oh, and we stand by this 100%. It's the same rate. You're getting the exact same experience. The only difference is you might not be able to come in and have an in-body scan, and that's not a big deal. They're still getting the same amount of support and accountability, the same access to all of our resources and nutrition coaches. So do not devalue your program just because you're talking via Zoom instead of in person.
Absolutely. Another thing you want to look at is how are your packages and prices set up? We recommend doing a 12-week program so that you have time to build healthy habits with clients. For us at our HQ location, we charge $179 per month for 3 months as the lowest package for someone to get started with nutrition coaching, and then it goes up to $229 and then $299. Most gyms for their lower package charge between $135 and $165 is probably the average of what gyms are charging just for nutrition only. So when you're trying to figure out your prices and packages, you want to look at what are my nutrition only offerings and then how do I layer that into my intake process at my gym? And that's exactly what we do, again, during the training process. But if you're trying to figure this out on your own, figure out what your nutrition only packages are. And then you want to build nutrition into your intake process so that someone new coming into your facility, when you reopen your doors, get started with both nutrition and fitness on day one. It is so much easier to get someone bought in on nutrition and truly help them achieve their goals faster if they're starting off with nutrition, not just fitness.
Yeah, and it's so important for them to understand that nutrition is one of your offerings before they even come into the free intro, which is why you really need to build nutrition into your program, into your gym.
Absolutely. And this, kind of goes into number 2 when we're talking about like 3 things that you need to look at with virtual coaching, the free intro process. And I would say, and I did a Facebook Live actually, and it's on our blog with Emily Connors, one of our mentors. We went all through the marketing strategy and free intro process. But your free intro for your gym, for your business, starts before the person comes into your facility. It starts with your social media, your email content, your website. If
Hmm.
nutrition is not talked about on any of those things, they are going to think you're just selling them on nutrition. But if you make nutrition a part of the consistent message, if they are seeking you out because you offer nutrition, that is going to help you
With your
build your
sales.
nutrition program.
Yep. Yeah, they're already expecting you to talk about nutrition. So it doesn't seem like you're trying to sell them an additional offering when they're coming in.
Absolutely. So we want to have nutrition be a part of our message. Put it in your email content, make videos, post recipes, all of these things. If you're looking for inspiration, follow Healthy Steps Nutrition. We have a ton of recipes and different nutrition resources that we talk about. But let's talk about this free intro. Now, with virtual coaching, the free intro process is a little different at our HQ location than it was before because people aren't coming in. We essentially changed our website to have people apply for virtual coaching. So they fill out as easy as a Google form, and then we follow up with them with a phone call and an email prompting them to book like the actual phone call. So, free intro, what does that really look like?
Yeah, so now virtually, we're kind of shifting to the Zoom platform or to a video call type of a platform. So the free intro really isn't changing too much from when we do it in person, with the exception of there's no way for us to obtain biometrics, right? So you might want to ask to have the client or whoever is interested to come to the free intro with some information, with some biometrics, really getting to that why, and hopefully then convert them over and sign them up for nutrition coaching.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is with the free intro is you need to get to their why. So digging down, like what prompted you to join or to book this free intro? What does success look like to you 6 months from now, a year from now, and why is that important to you? And most of the time, the surface level is I want to lose weight, and then you can really dig deep to something like I want to feel more confident. I want to take control of my health. And when we have those bumps in the road, we can always go back to, hey, I know you really want to feel more confident in your skin, and this is going to help you get there. But if you don't figure out the why, you don't do a free intro, you're just having people sign up for group fitness online, it's going to be tough for you to get them to buy into nutrition later. So having that free intro process is really, really important. And the goal of this is to get to the why and guide them to an option that best suits them, which is why number one is so important with figuring out your prices and packaging so that it's easy for someone to get started with both.
Yeah, the path needs to be clear for them, what they need and how to sign up. Those are so important because if it's not clear and not easy, they're not going to want to do it.
Absolutely. So, packaging it together, nutrition and fitness. And then from that point, they sign up for nutrition and they are booked for their initial consultation. Right now, all of these initial consultations, virtual consultations, talk to me about what that looks like for a client and for the nutrition coach.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're making sure we're sending that automated email 24 hours before, reminding them that they have their call, sending that Zoom link or whatever video software you're using so they know where to go to have that call with you. Again, we need to make it simple and make the path clear for what their steps are. Then we're going to be talking to them a little bit about their short-term and long-term goals. And we're going to keep reiterating to those goals and touching back to those goals and their whys all throughout their journey with us. So it's important to talk about those consistently and establish those at the beginning when we're doing their initial consultation. I talked a little bit before about tracking biometrics. So again, virtually, we aren't able to have them get on an InBody. Maybe eventually down the road, they can come in and do that InBody. But until then, we need to be creative with how we're going to have them test biometrics. What are they going to be looking at? My main suggestion for you is whatever method you do, whether it's a scale, you're taking measurements, taking photos, be consistent with that method. Don't jump around to different methods. Just choose one and use that.
I would say even picking a couple methods would be really good. Like clients, if they're just looking at weight and not taking progress pictures or not doing measurements, their weight might stay stagnant if they're exercising. So if you're doing progress pictures and, not every day, don't take weights every day. We do the progress pictures once a month. Clients will do it and I'll prompt it in the app to schedule it. Then they'll be prompted to take those progress pictures. But having them come in with biometrics is important, and, walking through short and long-term goals. And really, when you're working with clients and at Healthy Steps Nutrition, we focus on a habit-based approach. And when we're working with clients, we're essentially triaging like you would a squat, a new client coming in. Like you're going to look at their squat, you're going to give them one cue. Let's get them successful with that one thing. We're not going to go from not squatting ever to squatting 500 pounds on our back. And that's what a lot of nutrition programs do, is they're like, I don't care what you did before. We're going to change everything and do this really strict diet.
Yeah, and then go ahead and Google this diet and follow it and let me know how it works for you. I think with the big missing piece of the puzzle there is there's no feedback loop. You're just kind of throwing information at somebody and saying, okay, run with it. But what they really need it to be is simple. They need to have that support. They need to have that accountability. And now more so than ever, you can definitely provide that virtually for your clients.
Absolutely. So, focusing on just one habit at a time has been proven to be more successful than anything else with long term success.
Hmm.
Clients achieving results and maintaining those results. So, when you're working with clients virtually, you're just assessing like, hey, what's going really well? What's worked really well for you in the past that you may have gotten away from, and what has not worked well in the past? If a client tells you that they got really overwhelmed or they went into this like disordered eating patterns when they logged their food in MyFitnessPal, I am not telling them to log their food in MyFitnessPal, but if that's the only strategy you use, you could push them back into a rabbit hole. So figuring out what worked well and what didn't, and maybe you just go to the lowest hanging fruit and start with that first. And that's why it's important to have follow up visits and check ins regularly
Hmm.
with clients so there is that feedback loop. I know with Healthy Steps Nutrition, we recommend, one check in day, 1 day a week.
1 day a week, yeah. And then another awesome thing with the Healthy Steps Nutrition app is that you can schedule those messages out as well too.
And if you're not using Healthy Steps Nutrition, you can schedule emails out. Same idea, just
Hmm.
making sure that it's consistent and you're consistent with how you're talking and delivering information to clients. Because if you don't do that, then they're going to be texting, Facebook messaging, emailing you, and it's going to be very tough to keep track of conversations. So when you're working with clients virtually, I think we're both on the same page here. You need to triage.
Hmm.
Let's look at where you're at right now. Let's look at what worked well in the past. And one thing that you can go back to from the business side is creating templates so that you have like an intake form. And there is a free intro form on our Get Free Help page that you can use to get started, and a meeting template form.
Yeah, the virtual meeting template form is awesome on the free help page. I know so many people have reached out and thanked us for that because they don't have to reinvent the wheel, and it's a great form to use and make your own.
Absolutely. So you want to just be consistent with how you're delivering your content, and so the experience is consistent with every single person that comes through your program. So you've got this feedback loop. You have packages where you're talking to people either in person or virtually through Zoom. We're providing value to them with the accountability and support. And really, what people are paying for with nutrition coaching is accountability and support. You're not giving them any magic pep talk.
No, there's no magic. A meal plan isn't like a magic sheet of paper, and don't feel like you need to follow it to the T. What people are paying for is for you to keep them on track. You're their cheerleader. Like you said, you're providing them with the accountability and support, and you're there to help make it easy and dial things in for them simply. I always say nutrition, information, and all the things, all the noise out there can be so overwhelming. So, what we need to do is make small, simple steps for them to achieve and achieve them consistently, because we know that success leads to motivation.
Absolutely. So making sure that you recognize too, maybe you made an action step for someone,
Mm.
or worked with them to create an action step and it was just too much.
It was too much, yeah.
And then what? Right? If you have that feedback loop where you can see, did a client do what they said they were going to do every day, and maybe they didn't do it any days, maybe it was just too big of a step and we need to take a step back and dial it in, or find out, like using the trigger worksheet, like what
Mm-hmm.
happened that caused you not to be able to do what you said you were going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important. And that's why we have those weekly check ins. That's why we're consistently looking at the app, seeing if they're checking off their habits. And if they're not, we have to ask, why is that? And what can we do to reassess and reevaluate and get you to a place where you can consistently achieve your goals?
Absolutely. And I think that it goes back to the why too, because there's going to be hiccups in the road. And if you understand the why behind their goals, it's going to be easier
To bring them back.
to reel them back in. So, what are some things that nutrition coaches are doing really well right now with virtual clients?
They are just getting so creative with the engagement and with keeping them on track. I know one of the things that we've heard that have been really successful, you have your clients at home, you're on a video call with them. Hey, show me your pantry. Let's see what you have in there. Or hey, let's look at your refrigerator or your freezer. Or let me show you my freezer and my favorite foods I like to stock up on as my staples, because sometimes going to the grocery store right now, they don't have exactly what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. So, definitely getting flexible with how you're delivering information. I think another thing is too, if you're working with families, you've got kids that are at home, and if kids are having the junk food around all the time, maybe you work with the mom or dad and get some healthy family ideas together so that everyone can be involved in the kitchen, and then it's easier for them to stay on track and not get kind of derailed by the junk that the kids are eating.
Yeah, another great thing to do as well that we've been doing with some of our clients is having them kind of schedule out their meals and snacks for the day. Everyone's in a different routine now. We're kind of like off our regular schedule. So just having something there so that we're not snacking all day long. Maybe with the kids at home and homeschooling, you have them pre-make their lunches and snacks in the morning just to help us stay on track and keep to a schedule.
Absolutely. I think that's a big struggle right now. People are bored, they're eating, so helping them overcome that. And a lot of people are in the kitchen that have never cooked at all. So
Yes.
having some easy options and doing like some myth busters with nutrition and just kind of making a joke about things too is important, right? Like
Yeah.
everything is so stressful right now. People want to see funny things. So if you can make a joke about nutrition and like make it funny, then you're
Mhm.
going to be really relatable to people and they'll want to come to you.
Yeah, another thing I've been seeing a lot is a lot of our coaches doing like little cooking classes.
Hmm.
How to chop an onion. Did you know that you're actually not supposed to chop the end part off of it? You keep that on there, and as you chop, it keeps the onion together so you don't have to hold it every which way. I never knew that. Little tips and tricks like that, people are going to respond and people are going to see your face and they're going to associate you with nutrition and easy nutrition, simple meal ideas. And that's what really people need right now.
Absolutely. People need simple, and your role as a coach is just keep them accountable to whatever they commit to. I want to talk about a couple of things that have been working really well with gyms. Cooking shows have been super popular. The
Mhm.
virtual seminars have been really popular.
Oh, yeah. And nutrition talks.
Nutrition Talks is another thing that we just really, you made 6 of them
Mm-hmm.
for our mentoring clients that they can use for lead captures or during seminars or just a member benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping everyone kind of engaged. Another thing that gyms are doing is having questions of the day related to nutrition at the beginning of their Zoom classes, or maybe even doing like a Facebook Live asking some things like, how would you rate your nutrition now compared to a month ago?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite go-to snack? What's your favorite go-to treat? Some easy things to get the conversation going so that people start associating you with nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't do that, then it's going to be tougher for you to grow your program, for sure.
Yeah, and then you want your program to grow, you want to be successful, but again, going back to number one, the only way you can scale your business is by having systems in place.
Absolutely. I had a call with a gym owner today that signed up, and he was like, Nicole, I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose, all this stuff. And I was like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. He's like, what do I need to do right now? I said, you know what? Post a picture of, the food that you're eating. Talk about nutrition in classes. Like, get the conversation going so that people are not surprised when you start pushing out a nutrition program. And then, people always ask us too, where do I get my first client?
Oh, yeah, that's a great, great question. And we get so much all the time. But a lot of times, your first client might be somebody you already have in your gym. It might be a member, it might be a coach, maybe your significant other. It's really great to be able to practice on somebody and get a little more comfortable before reaching out and marketing to clients.
Absolutely. So, it might be even a coach so that you can practice. Have your first test client be a coach so that they can accurately describe the program. A lot of gyms are launching their nutrition programs with a challenge as a member benefit while their physical locations are closed. I think almost every gym going through our training right now is launching with a Stay Healthy challenge, which is amazing. This is a great way to get your coaches some experience with nutrition coaching, get members seeing some results, get some success stories of virtual coaching, and then clearly guide them to ongoing coaching after the challenge is over.
Yes. And we always talk about having that discussion, talking about the long term from day one. That way they see a clear path. And when the challenge is over, they understand that they need to transition into ongoing coaching. It's not the first time they're hearing it after the challenge ends.
Absolutely. I mean, that's even a conversation that we had during the free seminar that we hosted. Like, how many of you guys have done a nutrition challenge and regained the weight that you worked really hard to lose? And we saw everyone nodding their head yes and kind of laughing. But the truth is people need accountability and support. And if you offer that for them, they're going to see results and they're going to be so happy with the services that you're providing. But if you don't, and you only talk about nutrition when you have a challenge running or the beginning of the year when nutrition is popular, then it's going to be tough for you to grow your program.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck in that short-term nutrition syndrome. Nutrition should be year-round, long-term strategy for your business.
I think gym owners have a really cool opportunity right now while your gym is shut down to think about how you want to reopen stronger than ever and reopen with services that you didn't offer before and guiding new people to get started with both and offering a package where it's just nutrition coaching. I mean, so many of our clients, our seed clients at the gym are all nutrition clients. Many of them are all nutrition clients that started and then ended up coming over for personal training.
Yeah, if you're not offering nutrition only, you're really missing out on a great revenue stream. People would have come to you that normally would not want to come to a CrossFit gym.
I mean, geez, even people that go to CrossFit gyms that do not offer nutrition. We had someone call us yesterday who goes to a local CrossFit gym and they don't offer nutrition and asked if he can come to our gym. We have many clients that we've worked with in the past that go to other CrossFit gyms locally and come to us for nutrition because their gym doesn't offer it.
Mm-hmm.
So your members are going to go somewhere else if they're not seeing the results they want. They're either going online to another program or they're going to another local business. So now is the time, as you slow down a little bit and have a little bit more time to restructure your business to really fill in this missing piece of the puzzle. We have created so many awesome resources that are all completely free on the Get Free Help page. If you go to growyournutritionbusiness.com and go to free help, there is a virtual nutrition coaching checklist, kind of a checklist of all the things we talked about today. And there's also a webinar recording, a workbook. I mean, there's even like downloadable guides. There's the Zoom templates and meetings. There's so much stuff there.
So much stuff. You can get almost overwhelmed on the free help. So pick one thing, like you were talking about before. Don't be overwhelmed. Pick one thing and work on that. Whether it's taking a photo of what you're eating today, whether it's looking at our checklist on the free help page, going through the Zoom tutorial on how to get started offering virtual services. I think the action step for you guys listening to this, if this is new to you and you want to start and you're interested in adding nutrition as a core offering to your business, start with one small step. Pick one thing on our free help page and work on that and work up to getting nutrition as an offering in your business for an extra stream of income.
Absolutely. People need to hear things 7 to 10 times before taking action. So if you're not talking about nutrition regularly, that is definitely the place to start. You need to look at different forms of the way you're communicating. Are you doing it through email, social media, video content, in classes? People will connect with different things. So you want to make sure you're having a variety of content that you're releasing. And the cool thing is right now, people are looking for nutrition help. They're looking for easy recipes. So write a list on your phone of questions that you're getting asked, an easy topic so you can create some content and say the same thing multiple different ways in a video, in a blog, in an email, on social media, and a graphic, and push it all out so there's a consistent message about nutrition. People will start associating nutrition with your brand, and then you can start helping people. And when you do start helping people, just remember to keep it simple.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing. People need it simple, and especially now, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. Really keep it simple and just support your clients.
That's it. You're supporting them, you're keeping them accountable and helping them overcome the obstacles. And you got to think when you're coaching CrossFit or any type of fitness, the same cue is not going to work for every single person. So you have to get creative with how you're teaching things and incorporating healthier foods. And I always like to start, and Ashley, you're so good at this, start with adding more healthy things in instead of saying, no, you can't have any of this other stuff.
Absolutely. We always start with adding something. We don't want to take things away at the beginning because what we're really enforcing here is a healthy, habit-based lifestyle, not a restrictive type of a diet. So one of our favorite first action steps for our clients is just adding some veggies into lunch and dinner, adding some water throughout your day. I'm not going to start taking away your treats right at the beginning. We're going to start habits that will sustain a long-term healthy foundation.
Absolutely. And when you're adding those foods in first, you're going to fill up your stomach naturally. You're going to lower the other foods that you're eating.
Yes. It all works out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on for the podcast. I know virtual coaching is something that's a really hot topic right now, and we just wanted to lay out a simple plan for you guys. Again, there's a free checklist on the website, on the growyournutritionbusiness.com. Towards the top, there's a free checklist on virtual coaching, how to set it up and how to work with clients. So get that, use that, and start using this time to turn this obstacle into an opportunity. Ashley, any final thoughts here?
No, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head there.
Awesome, guys. Well, until next week. I hope you take action this week and start implementing nutrition offerings, or at least start talking about nutrition. Before you do that, please make sure you do your research and look at your state laws regarding nutrition. In many states, like Florida, you cannot charge for nutrition unless you have a dietitian involved with your program. If you are looking for help and don't want to reinvent the wheel, go to growyournutritionbusiness.com and book a free call today. HSN Mentoring has a comprehensive nutrition business platform, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and gyms are getting their nutrition programs up and running in as little as 2 weeks. Again, go to growyournutritionbusiness.com and book a free call today.